Hi everyone and welcome back to Chess for Charity. In this video, I'm going to show you a cool mate in 2. So I like this position because it kind of looks like a sword to me, so I really wanted to share this. It's from Benko, and I think that's an amazing chess player, so I really wanted to share some of his work. So let's just look at this position. It's white to move, and it's a checkmate in 2. So when I was looking at this position a little bit, I really was tempted to make a move like Queen G1, or maybe something like Queen C1. Right? Some sneaky ideas of getting here, getting there. Even something like Queen B8, Queen B7, Queen B4, right? All the B files, all the B squares in the B file, all that stuff is on my mind. So let's talk about it. Maybe even a knight move, right? So let's talk about what maybe came to your mind. So one thing is that if you make a rook move, as appealing as this looks, because it's double check, they can play King G4, and there's not a convenient way to win because it seems like they always have a square to run away. And even this, it's mate, but it's not mate in 2, that's mate in 4. And it feels like because of the symmetry, it doesn't really matter whether I go this way or the other way. Because similarly, if I do this, King E6, and again, what's the thing? I do this. Okay, great. King F7. This is not mate in 2. This is going to be mate in a couple more. Something like this will work just fine. Okay, so maybe instead of the rook move, maybe you break the symmetry with a knight move. Okay, so maybe something like this. Well, yeah, because if they take, that works because this is discovered mate. Kind of cool. But they don't have to do it that way. Instead, they can play King E5 and ruin the whole plan, and now I have no mate in 1. Instead, rook E6, this is going to lead to mate, but it's not going to be the checkmate in 2 that I want, like this. Okay, so what is the first move? And maybe this will kind of give you a hint. Well, it's a queen move, and I think that's the first hint. Now, where does the queen go? Well, I was thinking G1 on my first attempt just because I like the idea of the flexibility. But one thing kept coming up, which is that if I made a queen move, I'm allowing a rook check. Okay, well that's a little scary. If they play rook D4, I do have the very convenient recapturing with check, but that gives up E5. Okay, well that's unfortunate. This is not going to be mate in 2. Instead, it's going to be mate in 3. Okay, what about any other queen move then? Maybe up this way. Maybe something like, I don't know, B6? The idea is to be sneaky and come here? Well, yeah, good idea, but again, they can check me, I can recapture, but now they have King F4. And I realized that the problem is on this little diagonal, this 2-square diagonal here. So one thought about the solution is, how do I cover this diagonal? Because if I can get a queen on this diagonal, it feels like I could solve the puzzle because I would be counteracting these checks. Well, that's precisely the solution. Queen to B8, as crazy as that move looks, that's the only move that gives you checkmate in 2 here. So now, if they were to check me, I can recapture this. This isn't so weird. I can recapture this rook with my knight and give checkmate. Doesn't that feel so odd? I don't know, maybe it's just me. And the same idea goes the other way around. The symmetry, despite the fact that it's broken, because of this queen and this knight, they work together to give a nice checkmate. And of course, this bishop is supporting the rook. Okay, what other move do they have? Well, they can attack your queen. Well, that's not a problem. Queen F4 is mate. All these squares are supported, and this is supported by the other knight. Okay, what if I go this way to cover this one? Well, that actually allows me just taking that directly with mate. Kind of a cool mate. Only one square is covered by an enemy piece. Okay, so what if I move on a square that's on the 4th rank, but does not allow it to be taken directly? So maybe something like this, where I can take it directly, but it's not going to result in mate. Well, now you've given up Queen F8 mate, because this is another vulnerable direction. Boom, 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 and boom. Okay, so you can't stop queen f8 and you can't stop queen f4 at the same time because you have only a rook and you can't place the rook in the middle, right? You can't put the rook on f5. So you're kind of lost. And if you go for the check, you get recaptured with either knight with mate. Super cool. So that is the cool puzzle, Mate in 2. It is like a little sword. I really want to share it because I love the composer. Okay, if you stuck around this far, you're going to get a bonus puzzle. I want to show you this. It's kind of cool. It's not really worth an entire video, but it's a cool zugzwang puzzle. So it's white to move here, and this is your bonus puzzle. If you made it this far, let me know and see if you can solve it. I'll give you maybe 5 seconds. Okay, so the winning move here for white is to play king g3. By the way, it's not just winning, it's the fastest checkmate. And now black has only 2 moves because all of these moves are occupied. They're taken. You can't go here. So the best resistance is to play king d4, in which case I can play king f3. And the cool little zugzwang move is after they play king e5, I play the very fancy bishop h8, the nice waiting move to allow them to go right back, in which case this is checkmate. I think it's a super cool puzzle. I like those kinds of zugzwang puzzles where you have to make a waiting move. The other variation is instead of playing to d4, if they play to e5 directly, this is actually one move faster because now I can play king f3 and they have only 1 square, and instead of me having to make the waiting move, I can just take it. And that's even faster. That's a mate in 3, the other one's a mate in 4. But yeah, I think it's a cool puzzle. It's a short one, but it's kind of cool to structure. You might have to ask yourself, how did this bishop get all the way over here? I'll let you decide that and figure it out. Maybe even compose a proof game if you'd like, but shouldn't be too hard. But that is it. If you enjoy the content, be sure to like and subscribe. All that stuff helps us out immensely. But that is it for now. Thank you so much. Bye.